Hey there folks, how you doing today? Hope all is going well with you. Welcome back to the program, and please bear with any background racket that you might hear throughout this production. We are on location where life happens, and sometimes there's stuff going on over there that interferes with what we're trying to do in here. Also, I might add, it is very hot and humid here today, and if I had the air conditioner turned on to keep the temperature down in here, you probably wouldn't be able to hear me over it, so pardon me if I perspire. For those of you that have been following the series we're doing on the 2023 Project Rifle, you know that in our last episode we took it out of the factory stock, cleaned it up, Cerakoted it, and put it back in the factory stock because we are still waiting on Magpul to release their new Hunter Light stock, which is the one that was chosen by you, the viewers, for the transplant of our barreled action. A real quick recap for everyone else who hasn't been following along. This factory stock does have the M-Carbo stock stiffening blocks in it, which did help some. It didn't take care of the problem entirely. It also has the M-Carbo trigger fix kit on it, which made the trigger about as good as you could ask for. I think maybe possibly I could have gone with a aftermarket drop-in like a Timney or something like that and maybe cleaned it up a little bit. But overall, the trigger is nothing to complain about. It's about 4 pounds and feels pretty good. So this rifle is, for those who haven't been following along, an early first edition Savage Axis. When I first received the rifle, it had a Vortex Diamondback 4x12x42 scope mounted on it that just wasn't optimized for a 308 that I'm setting up for precision shooting. I really needed just a little bit more clarity. That particular scope, it was an early Diamondback, did not have a parallax adjustment, and shooting out at distances beyond 100 yards, it really seemed like it needed one. But regardless, we've taken that scope from this rifle. It's gone on to another project now, which leaves us with the set of, I believe these are Weaver Type 46 bases that are on here. But you'll notice that with the bases here, they have one notch on each one of them, and even though they're set as far in as they can go, they were too wide for the scope that I had originally picked out for this rifle. And now I know what some of you are thinking, Jay, it's a 308, you know, it's a short action, but the Savage Axis, that's one of the ways Savage kept costs down on these rifles for production, is whether it be a short action cartridge like a 308 or a long action cartridge like a 30-06, they share the same action length. So it is longer than a normal short action rifle. So because of that, I was going to have to do something about changing the bases before I was able to mount that other scope. But in the meantime, the folks over at Crimson Trace were gracious enough to provide us with one of their top-of-the-line rifle scopes for review here on the channel. And I knew instantly it had a home here on top of this 308. If you are watching this, you probably know that Crimson Trace has a long and reputable history producing quality laser products for the firearms industry, such as the LS250 laser saddle shown here on the Mossberg Shockwave. But did you know they now have a full line of quality accessories to include both red and green laser sights, tactical lights, electronic sights, and rifle scopes to rival other premium brands on the market today? From the novice outdoorsman to the tactical professional, Crimson Trace offers a wide selection of budget-friendly and premium rifle scopes to meet your operational needs. All Crimson Trace products are backed by their no-hassle limited lifetime warranty. Check them out now and use promo code J10 to save 10% off your next purchase. So for this portion of the content, we're going to get this Crimson Trace Hardline Pro 4x16x50 first focal plane scope with a minute of angle reticle mounted inside a set of 30mm Night Force rings on the top of this rifle. So in addition to thanking Crimson Trace for providing us with the scope, I'd also like to give a big shout out to my buddy Joe, who was gracious enough to provide us with those Night Force rings. Due to some recent abuse that we've received here on the channel from the folks over at YouTube, I'm going to omit the scope installation portion for that platform. If you would like to see the scope installation, you can kick over to our Rumble channel and see that happen there in real time. One nice feature of the Crimson Trace Hardline Pro is it came complete with a sunshade, which I typically, if I have one on the scope, I'll go ahead and leave it on there when I'm hunting. It's you know, it will limit your field of view to some degree, but depending on your circumstances, it's not a big issue. And for me, where I hunt, it never is. So I'm going to leave it on there for the time being. But there you have it. We've got the scope mounted. So now we have to get it out to the range. And that will be for our next episode. So if you've sit through all this with me, I'd like to say thank you. And until next time, take care. God bless. Even though this is a 308, it looks like a long action rifle, and that's because it is.